Welcome to a special edition of the Behind the Art Inspiration podcast, where we delve into the creative processes and stories of 14 artists around the world. In these episodes, we go behind the scenes with artists who are part of the International Online Art Collective, learning about their inspiration, challenges, and techniques while collaborating on our chain reaction project. Beginning with one single piece, each piece informs the next, provoking a chain of other artworks until we have created a total of 100 artworks assembled into one big multimedia installation. In this episode, we have the pleasure of interviewing artist Barbara Pastorino and her daughter. Tell her her name.
What's your name?
What's your name?
Sveva.
Ah.
She's Sveva.
And we're in Italy. Tell us where we are in Italy.
We are in this moment. We are in Varallo. That is a place, a little village on the mountains. That is the place in which I was born, and I enjoy coming here from time to time and bringing also my daughter. I enjoy that she get to know the place because it's very beautiful. The nature is wonderful. There are high mountains. We can go skiing, and I love that we come back here very, very often, even if we don't live here.
Excellent. And through our conversations, we'll gain insights into Barbara's creative process and the inspirations that drive her work. I'm your host, Caroline Cart, and I'm excited to bring you this episode from my DC studio. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we dive behind the scenes with Barbara and her daughter. So Barbara, tell me about what it's been like, because I know that you paint large abstract paintings, and we've been presented with kind of the challenge of painting on canvases that are not only this small, but also a different kind of feel to it. And when I was watching the videos of you creating, I was watching your process. I want you to talk a little bit about your process moving from the large abstract canvas onto a smaller surface that's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's true, Caroline. In fact, this maybe has been the real challenge because for me, I'm really used to paint on a large abstract canvases in which I can be very, very, very free and without thinking about the margins and to spread color here and there. So I had to try to limit myself and not only by the fact to be inspired by something else, but also by the dimensions. So this has been really tough, but also part of the game. So it has been very, very interesting to see that. Anyway, I think that my works are a miniature of what I would have done if I had the big canvas. So, in fact, they are like abstract big paintings, but in small.
And along your journeys, because this has been a 2-year project, and when I went into document, I saw that you were in a place that I'm fascinated by. Not because I'm an educator and I know all about the philosophy or approach to learning, but you were actually in Reggio Emilia.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Can you talk about your experience there? Because you actually did one of your pieces with artists all around you in a nice open space, right?
Exactly. So I'm happy that you know the place because in fact it's very famous from an educational point of view. It is a place in the countryside, and every year I go there with a group of friends, painter friends, that I met at the academy, the NABA, New Academy of Fine Arts of Milan, that I joined some years ago. and we still are friends. And every year we still go there for 4 or 5 days, and we paint all together in the open air, in the middle of the countryside. And we stay together. We have lunch together with sandwiches. We have dinner together at the restaurant, and all day long we paint. We can bring daughters or dogs and things like that. We are, before everything, we are friends, and there is really a special magic because we have this strong love for art in common. And um there are really days in which we don't think about our normal life, and we just concentrate on art, and it's really wonderful. So I had the luck that one of my turn on 2022 in Chain Reaction, I was going there, and so I did it there, surrounded by friends.
And which piece, can you remember which piece it was? You know, you can talk about it, which piece it was and who came before you in the link and who came after you, perhaps?
Yes.
You don't have
Okay.
to remember the
It,
number, just the painting.
no, yeah. It was coming from an image of Susan. So it was a collage of photos, of pictures. And after me, she came Greta,
Hmm.
and the image of Susanna inspired me, freedom and lightness. Also, maybe due to the season, because it was May, so the best season, in my opinion, of the year, in the best possible place. So the countryside with the very good weather, blue sky, and insects and birds chirping. So really, it couldn't inspire me else than nature and freedom. So it was one of my favorite paintings. The results was one of my favorite at the end.
And I also saw you, when you received a chain from Ruth, and
Yes,
it brought about Poseidon in you and the sea. And I know that your family goes out on a sailboat, so I'm sure that, and Ruth is always on a sailboat, and so you know
yeah,
that really excites me, right? And I got a brief peek before we started of the colors and the nature of almost the fluidity of the paint, almost like you
yeah.
had figured out how to work on a small square and bring what you paint large into the smaller scale. Can you tell me a little bit more about that artwork?
Yeah, I perfectly remember. It was the painting that I received from Ruth was a Poseidon coming out from the sea in all his strength, and very powerful. And and she was on a boat when she was doing that. I was still in Milan, but I was going to leave with the boat the week after. So I was very excited to leave for my holidays on the sea. And the painting made by Ruth was really very powerful, and inspired me a sort of landscape, abstract landscape. But I remember that in that period we were suffering a lot for the warm weather, for the very warm weather in Milan. It was extraordinary warm, and not in the nature of the things. And I had to think about a lot about the general warming of the planet. That is something that worries me a lot. And yeah, this is also something that maybe I put in my painting, something that is not everything is always calm and placid. There is always something also um, uh, in contrast, because I'm a lot worried for the future of the planet. So I think that I try to communicate also this subject with my paintings.
Yeah, it's a common thread as I interview everyone that's part of this project. It's a common thread, and especially since our project has spanned over 2 years so far, the thread
Mhm.
of how what's happening in the world or going on in the world makes its way into the artwork of everyone. And so then the artwork itself in an entirety becomes a time capsule, right?
Yeah.
So once it starts touring around the world, especially with all the narratives that take place during each piece, it becomes part of history itself. So that's kind of fun. It will be really interesting to see it all together and out on exhibition.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. A time capsule is a very beautiful definition. And also in the last year with the war in Europe, so close for us, it's something that is touching for sure everybody, and I'm sure that yeah, this is perceived also especially in the narrative, and I think that the narrative is really very very important to interpretate the meaning of every piece.
Yes, and these podcasts will become of the time part of the time capsule. So we'll be doing this
Absolutely.
again probably within the year. So
Yeah.
is there anything else you wanted to talk about chain reaction that I'm not bringing up that you'd like to say?
Well, just that I'm very, very glad to be part of this incredible project because it started and I didn't think it could go so ahead and really to see things evolving and also it's beautiful to see how everybody react to the piece of the other and yeah, it's really a big thing and I'm very glad to be part of this wonderful project. Yeah, I'm very glad.
Well, that's great. Barbara, where can people find out more about you and your artwork?
Well, on my Instagram page, that is
Okay.
Barbara Point Pastorino. On my Facebook page, Barbara Pastorino Art, and on my internet site, www.barbarapastorino.com.
And I'll put those in the show notes as well as all of our information if somebody wants to learn more about chain reaction and where it might be coming to their town, because we're starting to line up exhibitions all along the eastern coast of the United States, all the way through, and then over into Europe. Um, I want to thank everybody for joining us, and you, Barbara, where we can share our love of connection, collaboration, and art. Thank you again, and
Thank you.
say goodbye to your daughter.
I think she got asleep.
Oh, wow.